was here. I loved it. It was pretty much an easy decision back in January, I think that was, December. So, yeah.
When you enter a quarterback competition like you're in right now, what's your mindset when you enter something like that?
Oh, I mean, it's, I've been a part of QB competitions before. It's nothing new to me. It's really just one day at a time, just focus on yourself. At the end of the day, it's like you're just competing with yourself, and that's all you have to do.
But why do you believe you should be the quarterback for the Missouri Tigers?
Just believe in yourself, I mean, why wouldn't you believe in yourself? That's really the only thing you have to do. So.
And what can your experience from Penn State playing at a high-level program do to help you here?
Yeah, I think, all the game experience I had in big-time games, on the road and games like the Big Ten Championship and all that stuff, I think it just helps, just having experience in general. And that goes, for anything, experience in tough, environments or just like home games and everything. It's not anything new, so when we go on the road this year or even when we're at home, it's not something that'll just be brand new.
Coach Drake mentioned this is the most talented quarterback room that he's had. What can you speak about the depth of this room and the talent you guys have?
It's been awesome ever since I got here, being in the room with Sam and Matt and all the other guys. They're talented guys, talented football players, pretty good golfers too. We went on the course a couple weeks ago with Coach Drink, but no, it's just been awesome being in the room with those guys. And for Matt and I being new, Sam kind of taking us under his wing and just kind of introducing us to Mizzou because we didn't know too much about it. So just appreciative of him and Tommy Locke as well.
Curious what you've seen from Matt. I know it's early days with him just getting started here in college, but what have you seen from Matt in his early stages?
Yeah, I remember last year Matt and I, he actually, we're both from Pennsylvania, ironically, so he came to my high school last summer and we threw together, not having any idea we'd end up being on the same team, but he's just super talented naturally. I think he's just naturally gifted, and he's a great kid too, so I'm just excited that we're here together and I have the opportunity to hopefully help him out in any way possible.
Obviously, you meet a lot of coaches during the recruiting process, but may I ask, what did Coach Drinkitz bring you to the table that made you want to play for him?
I don't think it was anything Coach Drink himself brought. I think it was just the program in general that he's built. As far as Mizzou, if you just look at it from my perspective back in December, it was like it's just a program on an upward trajectory. Like they've won 10 games the past 2 years. They beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, and I just knew that. And once I got here, I kind of understood the way he ran things, and all the entire coaching staff and support staff has just been awesome. And it's been really good to see that.
If you could describe your game to Mizzou fans, what would you say about your game?
I think they'll have to see that come game day. But when I was at Penn State, whenever I had the opportunity to go in, just providing a spark and just being able to be a playmaker and help the offense, move the ball down the field and score touchdowns. Really.
Drink has said he's not standing there with a checklist, and once he checks all the boxes, someone gets the job. So what do you feel like you need to do? What do you have in your head going into camp saying this is what I need to do to present myself as the starter and win it?
Just be me. I just really got to stick to play within the player that I am and I know I can be, and just be the best version of myself every day.
Beau, outside of continue to get adjusted in the offense, is there one thing you're looking forward to improving on this fall camp?
I don't think there's anything specific. I think in the spring, the spring went really well, but at the same time, everything was brand new. So I think that the more that you can develop a good relationship with, the wide receivers and, even the O-line, just kind of gelling as an offense as a whole, I think that's something that I'm looking forward to accomplishing.
Can you go a little bit more in depth about the connection and relationship and, a lot goes into being able to connect to the receiver on the field, off the field. Can you just go into that a little bit? Timing and things like that.
Yeah.
How's that process going so far?
It's going really well. Timing for me, I think it's super important. And in an offense like this, well put together offense, timing is, maybe the most important thing. So just kind of learning, the mannerisms of the wide receivers and being on the same page and, where do they like the ball, when they break, just different things like that can just help the offense be that much better.
You're replacing a guy, Brady Cook, that was the starter here for 3 years. So what have you kind of learned from kind of watching him from afar to kind of allow him to have so much success?
Yeah, well, when I first got here, first of all, Brady is, an unbelievable player. I know he was an amazing guy for this program. He's kind of transformed it. But, I think when I first got here, learning the offense, you're watching Brady. You know, it's been him the past however many years, three or four, and you know, I think just seeing how he operated at a high level, I think that helps a lot. He kind of set the example, and whenever he was in the facility this offseason, just kind of picking his brain on different things, just things I had questions about, he was always open and answering them, and that was helpful too.
Hey, Beau, can you tell me about the Wisconsin game and just kind of like if